right, sensibilities, we got a few questions that need some answers with y'all sensible thinking selves. And first up on the docket is Miss Sheree Whitfield. Yes, ma'am, Sheree. Who's coaching you, boo? That's right, who's coaching you? Because we know that you didn't come up with that she by news all by yourself. Hey, this is Sensibility Speaks. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, y'all, it is about that time. Let's sip some sensibility, shall we? All right, sensibilities. Honey, we got some things to talk about. So, as we know, the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion part 2 came on yesterday. So, I got some questions that need some answering. So, let's kind of get into it. So, do y'all think that Carlos King has been coaching Eric Fuller to give both Kandi and Kenya, I'm going to call them Double K, a bad edit this season? Okay? And you may ask, if so, what sent it for Carlos to coach him to do so? So, as you know, the cast as well as the production for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, they have been receiving quite a bit of backlash this season for a myriad of reasons due to failed ratings, inauthentic storylines. You got Kenya making allegations against production that they're not giving her a good edit, that they're favoring Marlo, etc. And here's the thing, things got so bad that the showrunner, Eric Fuller, was allegedly receiving threats, and the network even had to come out and put out a statement about it. It ain't ever that damn serious to be threatening folk just over a reality TV show. It's just ludicrous. And some folk are just as crazy as Cat P, okay? You have your fans, your fanatics, your stans, child. You can have your favorites. You can like who you like, but you ain't got to be threatening folk. So that said, I just wanted to go ahead and put that caveat out there that to me that's just asinine, okay? So let's get back to the mess. All right, so the Queens of Bravo put out that Eric Fuller, again, he is RHOA and RHOP, he's a showrunner. So he's clapping back at the detractors and the naysayers, okay? As I said before, Kenya has been very vocal lately about production. He says, I'm not an editor. I don't make casting decisions. I don't choose what scenes make it or not. And if you're going to come for me for what I'm possibly responsible for. So my question is to him, if you're the showrunner, then what is it that you do? Because like Carlos King telling Honey, when he was the showrunner for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, shit, he moved heaven and earth to make things shake, okay? Because according to him and to many others, that was touted as one of the best seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And let me tell it, he said he had a huge hand in it, okay? He's been vocal about that on his podcast on numerous occasions.
Can I tell y'all, when I was the showrunner season 6, I had separate meetings with each housewife and said, we have to deliver great story that y'all are really going through. That's why when you go on Twitter, everybody shows that photo of the season 6 housewives, which like everyone says that's the best season of all time.
So what is it that you're responsible for, Mr. Fuller? Okay. Anywho, let's continue. And Kenya Moore says, oh, let's not forget that they didn't film or show Brooklyn's 3rd birthday party where we were dressed up as mermaids. All of the Real Housewives of Atlanta kids were there, including Eva Marcel, her children, Ace, Anaya, Blaze, Shia. So essentially kids of the show and some close friends of the cast members, okay? They were there in attendance. Okay, and it looks like Kenya responded. Nia's Purpose said, production seemed to have heavily marketed all of Kandi's business adventures. They marketed both her restaurants as well as a movie that was just released, which was The Past, which was a great movie in my opinion. Kenya said, hashtag facts. All her businesses in caps, okay? You can't pick and choose and show random scenes that don't support a full storyline. Hashtag RHOA, hashtag Kenya Moore hair spa. Okay, so here's my thing. Now, according to Kandi, she's singing a different tune because she feels as though she got a bad edit during the reunion. So let's kind of get into it. And we're going to come full circle with this.
At a reunion, let me say this irritated me. I felt that it seemed like it was a little one-sidedness going on with the edit. Meaning, clearly, obviously, the pamphlet was brought out as shade against me, which it is what it is, you know. On the show, on reunions, people do shade or whatever. The shade against Drew was the text messages. It was allegedly.
Okay, so clearly Kandi feels like that the girls were at her, and they were, okay? Now, as it relates to Drew, now we all know about the text messages that Ralph sent to Sheree, or he got Courtney's old bird ass with her side chick want to be on the show, desperate ass, to give Sheree those text messages. But this ain't the purpose of this video. So these are a few theories that I have, and I'm gonna let y'all know what they are, and then y'all tell me what y'all think. Who do you think coached Sheree to create that She website? Do y'all think it was production? Was it Carlos? Or just who? Because we know that she ain't the most business savvy, or she didn't have any business acumen, because it wouldn't take her 15, 11, up 10 years, really 14 years to create She by No Clothes, She by Sheree, She by Sheen, okay? She who don't pay her bills, allegedly, and she who had a fashion show and ain't got half the fashions available on her website, and she who effed over her designer and didn't pay the bill, allegedly. But child, anywho.
But that little shade she threw at me, y'all want to spend all its time on it the first reunion episode. To be honest with you.
She made a whole website. She made a whole website.
Oh, that's recent. Bitch, I'm gonna need you to take my pictures down. Because if you're gonna be trying to make money and you're not, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Get sued trying to steal my pictures. You better find you some different pictures to use out of that. Yeah, like, how you gonna put my family pictures on your website when you selling subscriptions? Should I sue you? Even Bravo didn't show my pictures. I don't know. You might want to pull my pictures down. Get sued.
Now, Sheree, you better be playing with Kandi, because you know she got the coin to come after yours, all right? To bring your ass up in court. So you better be taking her pictures up off that website if you know better, child. But let's move on to the other elephant in the room, shall we? Let's get into some things.
I was raised underneath the Real Housewives banner. And that's why some of these new producers, and again, listen, of course I know the showrunner, Potomac, and he's my mentee and I love him. I haven't spoken to him because I like to keep that separate. And this has nothing to do with him. I want to stick, because I saw some of y'all say, well, Carlos, where's Eric? y'all are funny. Kandi, you expelled Eric. I love it. I do know that some producers aren't in the job for the right reasons.
So Carlos mentioned that some producers aren't in a job for the right reason. Well, pray tell, why are they in a job? But y'all let me know in the comments. But let's move along. So in all seriousness, do y'all think there's an agenda to purposely have a disjointed season in order to force change, okay? Because again, Eric Fuller's the showrunner, and according to him, he ain't responsible for Ish. But let Carlo tell it, when he was a showrunner, he made the heaven and the earth move in the tectonic plates and earthquakes and everything. It was all because of him. Anywho, so at this juncture, we all know that Eric Fuller was, or maybe still is, Carlos's mentee, okay? And he was Carlos's successor as a showrunner on the show. And let me tell it, Carlos want to go back home. Now, the bigger question is he still mentoring Eric Fuller? Is he whispering in old Eric's ear to purposely sabotage the show so as to do a shakedown to kind of get Kandi up out of there? Perhaps Kenya, even though he say he loves Kenya, but yet Kenya got a bad edit. So who is behind all of this? I think it's by design. Either the network put the full court press on to the production staff, headed by Eric, okay, allegedly. Was he forced into the role of sacrificial lamb to where we're going to do a one-off this season, but then you can do your thing when there's a cash shakeup to get the girls up out of there, because we're paying all of this money and we can get some new blood in there and pay them a fraction of what we're paying these girls. Because I think Kandi is one of the or the highest paid housewife. I don't know if that's for all of the franchises or just specifically the highest for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But whatever the case may be, I feel like Carlos may have a hand in it, okay? Because I think that brother wants to go back home. Because as you heard him say, child, he said Bravo raised him, and I think he wants Kingdom Reign production to be producing them shows again. I'm just saying, that's just a theory. Carlos wanted to produce all the shows. That's why he heavily critiques the Real Housewives of Potomac in Atlanta in particular, because that in his heart, that was his baby, okay? And then he's interviewing all the damn girls. What you up to, Carlos? You telling that man to sabotage the show so you can get some of your not so faves out? Because we all know him and Kandi ain't got the best relationship, because word on the curb, he tried to steal Kandi's escape story, the docuseries, documentary, whatever he wanted to do. Child, that's no secret. That was all out on the press, okay? And we know that they don't have the best relationship. So again, I ask, Who y'all think been coaching Sheree and told her to get that website? Do you think that's something that Carlos advised her to do? Because Lord knows we know her ass ain't come up with that idea and concept, okay? And she ain't had a good enough management team behind her before to get that damn She by Sheree off the ground. So somebody been whispering in her damn ear, okay, to stick it to Kandi. Eric Production, allegedly whoever, Carlos, some damn body. I'm just saying, the network, God, somebody whispered in her ear, all right? Somebody coached her. Okay, so that's one. And then two, do you think that the network is purposely trying to do a throwaway season so as to rile up and shake up things to get the public outcry and people complaining and throw away the whole cast, throw away production so you can get those heavy hitters up out of there so you can get some new lifeblood in there and pay them less coins? I'm just saying. And do you think Carlos got a hand in it? Okay. Is he whispering in Mr. Eric's ear? Hell, is he in cahoots with Bravo, child? Who knows? Is he trying to stick it to Andy? Or is he working with Andy? Or is he trying to work with Andy? Anyway, inquiring minds want to know. So in closing, let's listen to what Kandi had to say about production. Now, listening to Kandi on Speak On It, she's very diplomatic. She's very business savvy. Girlfriend ain't gonna burn no bridges, and she's not biting the proverbial hand that has been feeding her. Okay, let's listen to what she got to say about production. Not so much about how she's getting a bad edit with the reunion in this season, but just she's kind of changing her tune a little bit because it's a little contradictory to what she said before. So let's take a listen.
I don't know. I feel like you never know what they want to see when they're tying the stories in together. So like I don't really have anything negative to say about, because I feel like everybody going in on the producers this year. So I don't really like to go in on production or anything. I'm just saying everything on everybody can't be seen, right? You got to figure out what works with the story and what doesn't. So even if something is interesting,